Hello and welcome to this episode of Tech Talk Weekly. In this episode, we are going to talk about the 4 steps to break into tech using transferable skills. One of the biggest problems that people have transitioning into tech is that they don't know how to use their existing transferable skills to get into tech. So what you see is people trying to go back to college for another degree, trying to get all the certifications out there, thinking that's what's going to make them a better candidate. And while sometimes that may be necessary, in most situations, you do not need to go back to school. You do not need to get countless certifications. You just need skills training plus your existing transferable skills. So, in today's video, I'm going to go over 4 steps that you can use to identify your transferable skills to help you with your transition to tech. Before we go into the steps, I want to talk about a few case studies because sometimes hearing what's happened for others might help you believe that it's possible for you. So, in my program, the IT Audit Fundamentals program, we've had several people transition into tech from different fields. And just recently, we had 2 people from healthcare. There was a CNA and a registered nurse that were able to do this. And they leaned heavily on their transferable skills, things that they had done in prior roles. One of the roles actually was for a compliance role in the healthcare industry, and they were specifically looking for someone that already had healthcare experience. And that's just a great example of how whatever you're doing today can help you get into tech. Because the reality is that tech exists in different industries. So you have tech in manufacturing, in aerospace, in healthcare, in wherever, retail. And in those fields, you also have IT audit and compliance. So if you're working in any of those industries and you already have some experience, you can leverage some of those skills in addition to any new skills that you need to get trained in and use that to get a new role. So I talked about healthcare. We've had a lot of people move from like IT help desk support into audit and compliance because they already had the working knowledge of systems, networks, and things like that. So whatever your background is, you really need to consider how you can use your transferable skills to move into tech. Now, I do have to say this, it may not be for everyone, right? Some people just can't do the work to really understand the transferable skills, and maybe some people really don't want to get into tech. So I'm not saying that anyone should do this, but what I'm saying is anyone can do this if they are willing to put in the work. All right. So let's now talk about skills and how to identify transferable skills. Before we talk about transferable skills, I want to talk about skills. There are 2 main types of skills. You have hard skills and soft skills. And knowing the difference between this will help you when you're identifying your transferable skills. When you think about hard skills are what I'll call technical skills. Now, technical doesn't mean that it's in the tech field. I just mean that these are skills that you usually have to do for a specific type of job. So with tech skills, you know something really well that's related to a particular type of job. So maybe website development, coding, IT controls testing, maybe you've reviewed applications before or you've developed applications before. Maybe you've done some security or QA testing before. You can consider those hard skills because they are something that's related to a specific field of work that you would typically get on the job. The next type of skills are soft skills. And with soft skills, they're not necessarily tied to a job. They're more like interpersonal skills, skills that you kind of just have or that you utilize when you're working. This might be communication skills, project management skills. Maybe you're great at teamwork and collaborating with others, and you might just have amazing problem solving skills as well. Or let's say you're from customer service, you might find it very easy to talk to customers and to get people comfortable with what you're saying. So consider those soft skills that may not be necessarily tied to a particular type of job, but they are interpersonal skills that can cut across different fields. So now, based on that understanding, we'll talk about transferable skills. Transferable skills are any set of skills that you can take from your current job into a new role. So essentially, that means your skills are being transferred from whatever you're doing today into a new role. And sometimes people find this a little bit hard to identify. So I'm going to walk through 4 steps that you can follow to help you with this. All right. So now we're going to talk about the 4 steps to identify your transferable skills. And here are the 4 steps. The first one is you want to review your prior experience because you have to understand where you're coming from. And then you want to group those skills based on certain criteria. Then you want to identify your target job role. That's the role you're looking to move into. And then you want to match your skills to that target job. And now we're going to go through each one with examples to help you do this on your own. So the first step is reviewing your prior experience. And this is going to take some work. So like I said earlier, this is not for everybody because everybody may not be willing to do the work. But if you are really serious about moving into tech and you want to do the work, then let's go ahead. So what you're going to do is you're going to document all the skills you've gained from your prior experience, whether it's healthcare, customer service, IT help desk, teaching, whatever it is that you've done, you need to sit down and identify those skills. That's absolutely necessary for you to get started, okay? And as you identify the skills, I don't want you to filter it at this stage. This is just a brain dump exercise. Put everything down on paper. And if you don't even know where to start, you can work with ChatGPT, for example. So maybe you can type in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you all the skills related to the area where you've worked before. And so you look at that list and then see which one applies to your situation. So you're using ChatGPT to help you come up with the initial list, which you obviously need to review to make sure that it's appropriate for you and that you have those skills. So that's just another way to make sure you're not staring at a blank sheet of paper when you get started. But the goal here is at the end of this exercise, you want to have all your skills on paper or on your computer. You want to have everything documented because that's where you want to start. All right. Now, once you have all your skills, the next thing you want to do is to group those skills. We've just talked about hard skills and soft skills. So you want to group these skills by categories. And by grouping them, what it's going to help you see is what are the things I already know from a technical perspective, and what are the things that are soft skills that can transition to any field that I want. So what you can do is put a table together, have one column that says hard skills, have another column that says soft skills, and group all the skills you've documented into those 2 columns, okay? Don't take anything out at this stage because, again, your goal is to ensure that you have all your skills represented. Once you've grouped your skills, then you can move on to the next step. The next step is identifying your target job role. And what does this mean? You should already have an idea of what field you're trying to move into for tech, right? So what you'll do is you'll go online and then you'll look for a job with that role. And you go into the job description for that role, and there's always a section that says required skills. What you want to then do is write down or copy that section that says required skills so that you understand the skills that are necessary for that job. Okay, so just to summarize, you look for the job description of a job that you are interested in moving into. You look at that job description and copy all the skills. So all the skills they are looking for in that job, you want to copy them, and then you want to also group those by hard skills and soft skills. So usually in a job description, they'll have soft skills listed. So they may say ability to work with others, good communication skills, project management. You can put that in there. And then also they may ask for technical skills like controls testing, risk management, compliance, IT audit. Those would be hard skills. So you want to also get all of that from the job description and put them into 2 categories, hard skills and soft skills. So now what you have is your skills that you've grouped by hard skills and soft skills, and the skills for the target job role also grouped by hard skills and soft skills. Once you have that, we can move on to the last step. And the last step here is to now match your skills to the skills required in the target job. So you now take a look at the target job, right? You already have the skills they're looking for, and you look at your skills and you pretty much do a matchup. Which ones of these skills do I already have? And what you'll notice is you probably have more than you thought possible. You may already have most, if not all, the soft skills covered. And then you look at the technical skills, you'll notice that you do have some skills there. Now, the reality is what might happen is you'll see a gap. So if there's a true gap, now you can focus on acquiring the skills for that gap. You don't need to start from scratch. So if you already have some skills and you're just looking for another set of skills, then you can go out there to acquire those specific skills without necessarily going back to school for a degree. So doing this exercise might take a little bit of time, but it really, really helps you to match your existing skills to the skills of a job, right? So that you know what you already have as transferable skills and the gap that's left for you to cover. One thing I want to mention is that when you start working on your resume, you will need to reword your existing skills to match the skills that were asked for in the job description. This may take a little bit of a copywriting skill, and this is where sometimes people end up working with resume writers to come up with the wording that works. Or if you're great with ChatGPT, you can use the prompts. And I think I have another video on this channel that talks about prompts. You can use prompts for ChatGPT to help you reword your skills to match the skills in the job description. Okay? And there you have it. So those are the 4 steps for you to identify your transferable skills. You want to review your prior experience, group the identified skills into hard skills and soft skills, identify your target job role and the skills they are looking for, and also group those by hard skills and soft skills. And then you match your hard skills and your soft skills to the skills being asked for by the job. Then finally, you want to reword your skills to make sure it's relevant to that job role that you're looking for. And once you've done that, you're ready and you've identified your transferable skills. All right, so that's it for today's training. I hope you learned something here today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And for those of you that like to read as opposed to watching videos, I'm also going to have a link to an article that talks about this topic on my website, and you'll be able to see some examples there that I wasn't able to share in this video. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye.